man. Oh, man. Feels good to be back. What's good, YouTube? Your boy Dev back again for another first listen. First video of 2023, I'm assuming. I'm going to have my list videos as well, but I have not uploaded those. But this is going to be the first video of 2023. Y'all know it is right there, man. Hey, so a couple things went down in the last month as I took my hiatus, my super high mental hiatus. Obviously, Gunna was free. I know a lot of people were asking me, especially in my DMs, they were waiting for the Gunna. Obviously, the Meg Tory trial has been settled. We got the 2022 list videos as well. You know, there's just a lot of shit that's Cardi was supposed to drop in December. That was fake. But this video is about Gunna and kind of just my thoughts on it and you know, my two say, even though it's irrelevant, but you know, I'm just gonna speak on how I feel about it. The one thing I will say is, I'm not a hood. I'm not a hood person. I'm not a gangster. I'm just from the hood, if that makes sense. All right. And I think that, you know, a lot of people is funny too, because they live behind their keyboards and they live from the outside in and love to be a spectator and comment about rules and, you know, all of what's supposed to happen in this street life when you yourself are working a 9-to-5 at Winn-Dixie, or, you know, you're at the bank, or you're a CEO of, you know, a Fortune 500 company talking about street life. It's kind of crazy when you really look at it, man. You know, it's unfortunate. You know, RICO charge obviously is very serious. And usually with a RICO case, even if it was state, federal, whatever, blah, 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 with a RICO case, somebody's going down. I already assumed that from the get-go. I assumed that Gunna wasn't gonna go down. I didn't think Gunna was gonna take a plea. I thought that Gunna was just gonna be able to wiggle out, just saying that he was a part of, you know, YSL as a record label, as a you know, but apparently that wasn't good enough. They thought that he was right there with Young Thug as a leader of the gang YSL. I think that, you know, when you listen to it too, you know, there are a lot of people that are saying there's a stipulation. I've been involved with the court system. I know how, you know, it works to maybe like 80% of it. I didn't go all the way, obviously, as I'm still here. But I know basically when you take a plea, you're not really snitching. Even though Tekashi 6ix9ine commented on it, you're not really snitching. They're going to give you what you're saying. And if you can't, whatever you can use in the court of law where there's evidence, if you can't use that, if you can't testify, then it doesn't matter what Young Thug or what Gunna says, because the jury alone are not going to hear that part of the evidence. Sometimes they can leave evidence out of it, and even if you do take the plea deal, by law you have to say what you're saying, but you know, it doesn't technically mean that he's going to testify against Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug. Now the other dude, Young Thug's brother, I forget his name now, his shit said that when he pleaded that they could use him as a to testify against Young Thug. So that was something totally way different. That's what people not really understand. And so people that don't know the system like that, and exactly how you have to basically say, like, when you take a plea deal, that's another thing. When you take a plea deal too, you're not necessarily saying that you're guilty. That a lot of people don't understand that when you're taking a plea deal, you're taking a plea deal so you can get a lesser, you agree behind closed doors, lesser time, so the prosecutors can get their case as a W, check mark. And Unfunk was his brother, I guess, yeah, that snitched on him, or that's going to testify. That can testify against Young Thug. I don't know if he is, but I mean, a part of his plea deal is probably part of that, so he probably will have to testify against Young Thug. But you know, when you take a plea deal, it has to, you know, you have to say what you have to say, and you know, it basically becomes a W for the prosecutor and, you know, the state. You know, they get a W. That's what they're basically what they want in law. They want a W. You know, they want to win. All right, and when they get a win, it goes great under the lawyer's resume and whatnot. And so with Gunna basically pleading, he pleads, he gets convicted, basically on a lesser charge for what he does, and you have to put it under the stature. But it doesn't go against Young Thug in a sense, from what I'm understanding. Now, I could be wrong. You know, there could be more to it. I'm just saying what I read and what I saw from the service level. But I always said that Young Thug was done. Like, I don't think that Young Thug is there's no way for Young Thug to get out. I think that maybe Young Thug even told his people to just get out. Maybe he stood up and just said, "Hey, y'all get out," and because there's just no way he's gonna get out, and like because they're not, the feds aren't, they're not holding up. They're basically saying that Young Thug is going down no matter what. We have a strong enough case against you, and we have all of the evidence. We have everything. We know it's you. We're not letting you go by nothing, and that's just it. And everybody's telling and whatnot. They're doing whatever they're doing, and then but Gunna, it sucks. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if it was my future and they told me, like I said, I'm not a street person, and maybe Gunna to get involved with that. A lot of times, Gunna also said that he wasn't even involved with that. He's just like a fashion motherfucker. He just be talking shit. He reps YSL. I think that there's a time and place like where you gotta just grow up and you gotta understand that there's more to life than just banging and doing whatever they're doing. Especially when you're already rich, you already beat life. I don't really understand when you beat life. Like, how could you possibly still want to do something that could throw it all away? It makes no sense. You got the women, you got the clothes, you got the money, you got the power, you got everything going for you. You can travel anywhere in the world. So that's the knucklehead shit I'm talking about, where Young Thug, I said knucklehead shit, I'm getting old as fuck with. That's where I don't agree with Young Thug and what he's doing and why it has to, just makes no sense. I mean, again, they always say you're a product of your environment. When you grew up in that, you can never give it up. But maybe you should. Maybe someone needs to sit you down. An OG needs to sit you down and just be like, hey, man, like, you got everything that everybody would ever want in life, man. You made it, and yet you're still involved with this knucklehead shit, and it just makes no sense. And as for Gunna, man, shit, if I had a family, I don't know if Gunna has a family. I mean, as much as I'm a Gunna stan, I don't really go into his personal life but Gunna got a kid, got a family. I'll tell you like this, man. I mean, maybe I still think people are going to bump Gunna. I definitely don't think Gunna, unfortunately, is not going to have the stardom peak that he had in February. I think that peak is probably gone. But I do think Gunna is still going to have his fan base and his fans and still make music that all of the streets are still going to bump. But do I think that snitching is no, I don't think. No, once you get caught, there ain't no snitching. All right? They have everything they need. The feds literally have everything they need. They have everything that, they want to build the case. At this point, they're just kind of just waiting to give you even longer time. Instead of giving you 40 years, they want to give you 60 years. They want to put everybody away. They want to put the head honcho away. They don't care about the little fish. They care about the number one. And I think that for Gunna, I mean, I know me, myself, once shit, I wouldn't even call it chirping. You want to do the bad, and by all means, you do the bad. I'm just going to sit there. But when push comes to shove, like, I know I didn't do anything wrong. So why I got to take the fall for somebody that's doing some crazy shit and I'm not doing nothing at all? That doesn't seem fair at all. I think that everybody is funny because everybody that would be in that same exact situation would do the same exact thing. I said the same thing when it came to Tekashi 6ix9ine. I had no problem with Tekashi 6ix9ine because the gang wasn't even ganging for him. They was definitely, doing some other shit. And look at where Tekashi 6ix9ine was years later. Out of jail, doing his thing, numbers-wise, going crazy. Number one YouTubes, still making crazy money, still alive. People saying that Hei's alive. It's just crazy when you think about it. So, I mean, Gunna, as much, even in me being a fan, I don't think anything Gunna did was wrong. Even by the court of law, it wasn't wrong because he's not testifying against Young Thug. Now, if he testifies against Young Thug, that's another thing. But we don't even know if that's happening yet. But we will. It'll be on court records when the actual trial happens. That that Gunna testified against Young Thug. If that's gonna be what the jury gets to know, then that's when you could just be like, wow, he really did snitch. Now again, my stance won't change, but maybe for the street niggas, it will be a little bit different, and they could actually now have some validity on what they're saying, right? Like they could have that's not street. But you can't say that's not street right now when he just basically took a basic plea. And, it's standard protocol and how you take the plea. You take the plea, the prosecutors get a W. You basically, you say what you do, and now you get out. You get on lesser charge, 180 days probation, whatever they gave him, and then you move on from that. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that, man. I'm still a Gunna fan, and we still rock it with Gunna. I am ready for his 2023 run. It's unfortunate his 2022 got robbed from him because he was about to have a legendary year. DS4 obviously dropped. A lot of people thought he couldn't do it again after Wanna, a great album, probably one of the best trap albums of the last decade, and how he was going to surpass that. And DS4 basically did a little bit under. I wouldn't say it was just as good, but it did a little bit under. And he still had the hottest song of the year in Pushin' P early in the year. And it's kind of crazy how, you know, all that was just derailed by the case, and it's very unfortunate. But you know what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So he'll come back strong in 2023, and hopefully have a very, very great comeback of the year. So that's how I feel about that. Welcome back, man. I'm back again. We're doing videos. 2023 is here. I promise not to leave you guys. I will continue to do videos, and yeah, I love y'all. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for supporting. Until next time, love y'all, and we're out. Peace.